Yes. Alright. So, I hit that button and then I tried to fix my hair, which was the backwards of what I was supposed to do. I have been asked a question which is supposed to be turned into a video by Zora's Creation. There is a person everyone should follow. I'm gonna put a link in the, thing on Tumblr. Yes. But I gotta find it, and I can't. Oh, there we go. Alright, it goes. What's your favorite color, food, TV show, film, and book? I don't watch films, but I do watch movies, so this is gonna work. My favorite color is a tough one. I'd have to go with purple. It's been my favorite color since high school. I was in marching band. Yeah, that's right, everybody. Marching band. And I was in the low brass section, and around my sophomore year, our color became purple. And from then on, we just kept going with that. And it was an awesome color, and we loved it. We used it for just about everything, including our bandanas, our dot books, etc., etc. If you're in marching band, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you know what a bandana is, and a dot book isn't anything you need to care about. Purple shirt. And I didn't actually plan that, and no one's gonna believe it. So, moving on. Wow, this chair is so squeaky. Okay. So that is my favorite color. It pretty much always has been. When I was a kid, it was red because I was a big fan of Pokemon Red and Charizard and Fire-type Pokemon. I also enjoy black, apparently, because I own a lot of black stuff. Like the glasses I'm wearing, my Xbox, so that's all in there, my laptop, so yes. I have a white iPod, though, but I wish it was gray. Beyond the point. So, moving on. Food. My favorite food would either have to be sushi, which, I love. Like, I love sushi. I got a gift card for it for Christmas, and I spent it the next day, and it was like $25, and I spent it all the next day. I could eat it for every meal, and that would be really gross. It'd smell really fishy. That I like most seafood, like lobster, crabs. I find it interesting that lobster used to be a meal for poor people, but then rich people liked it, so then it got expensive. Who knew? I like Italian food, most pastas. I like food in general, is where I'm going with this. What else do I like? Hoagies, subs, grinders if you're in certain areas of the Americas. So yes, all of those. Where else am I going? TV shows. TV shows. My favorite TV show is canceled. Just got canceled. My favorite TV show that has been on the air the most recently has just been canceled, and I'm very sad. I hope it gets picked up by another network, but it probably won't. It's called The Finder. It was an amazing, it had the best cast. Michael Clark Duncan was in it. I forget who played the main character. I loved their combination. But it was this guy who was in the Iraq War? Afghanistan? He was supposed to be in Afghanistan, and he was in Iraq, or he was supposed to be in Iraq, and he was in Afghanistan, and he got blown up by a jeep. They only ever hinted at this, like, subplot of how he came to be the Finder. And since then, he was compelled to find things, and he saw things that other people couldn't. And they would always have, like, moral dilemmas at the end of the episode, or philosophical debates, which was, like, something versus something, and I just loved it. And the dialogue was great. The characters were amazing. You had gypsies. You had Michael Clark Duncan, whose family was killed by a corporation. Not the actual Michael Clark Duncan, the guy who was playing, who was named Leo Knox. So he used to be this kind of fat guy who was a lawyer, and now he's a really jack dude who found, like, a sense of peace and became an almost angel of death figure in one episode, which was amazing. And punched a guy in the chest. But he was just, he's built to be this like very, very polite individual who will kill you if he has to. And I love that character. I love the Finder's just quirky, like, incapability of in a fight, but like so capable of talking his way into one. It was a great show. I could go on and on forever. You should check it out if you haven't, and I've probably told most of Tumblr to watch this. It's on Hulu. It's called The Finder, and every episode is on there. It's a spin-off of Bones. If you like Bones, I personally thought it was a decent show, but I like The Finder better. Because I started watching it at episode 1, and I think that's why. I'm not trying to pick a fight with any Bones fans. I very much enjoy that show as well. It's just I didn't watch the whole thing, and I'm sorry. Films that I like. Oh, this is a tough one, because I like some really bad films. Movie films, reels of footage. Movies. What can I like? Now I'm just thinking of all the movies I've ever seen. Alright, as far as bad movies go, I very much enjoy Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus. It is possibly one of the, 10 pretty bad B movies out there. Not worst, but very, very bad, and I laughed through the whole thing. A good movie to check out, a good series of movies to check out is Mystery Science Theater. It's people making jokes at bad movies' expenses on film. So it's like you're watching a movie about people making jokes about a movie they have to watch. So you're watching that movie as well. It's a little hard to explain, but it gets great, especially with The Touch of Satan was a good one, and Spider Island was a amazing piece of cinema fantasticery. What else do I have? I'm not really sure. I need a good movie, don't I? I liked Taken, but that's just because I'm like a standard dude, and anything with an amount of explosions, fighting, and Liam Neeson killing people will get my testosterone going, and I will be blinded by any amount of storyline. Or blinded to any amount of storyline. I didn't really care about it. All I knew was Liam Neeson went to France and beat the crap out of just about everyone to get to his daughter, and somehow did it. But he did have those skills that he talked about on that phone call. That was a pretty good speech, if I may say so. I very much enjoyed Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead. It's a take on Hamlet that you don't normally see. It had all the best parts of Hamlet, which are, well, the only good parts really, which is a couple of the monologues. I've read Hamlet, and I didn't really enjoy it until I saw the Hamlet Abridged, or the Shakespeare Abridged company do their thing on YouTube, which is great. If you ever have time, about maybe an hour, you can watch all of the works of Hamlet done by these people. They're fantastic. But it just had a sense of existentialism of why are we here, for Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, who no one can really say why they're there in the books themselves, including scholars and they themselves in the movie, which I find fantastic. What else? There was another movie that I saw, and I cannot remember it for the life of me. I've been trying to do it in the back of my mind while I'm talking, but it's not working. So I'm going to have to do it in the front of my mind and talk about what I'm thinking about, which is embarrassing, if anything. Let's see. There was a very good film that I saw. I don't remember what it was. I have not seen the Avengers yet, and that makes me sad, but I'm very much more excited for Spider-Man, if anything. As much as I love Captain America. I did watch Captain America, and I liked that movie, and I liked Thor a lot, although I thought Natalie Portman was probably one of the dumbest characters in that movie to have, because she was just in it because she was pretty and a girl and could fall in love with Thor. And I was like, alright, I get that you needed a love interest to keep this movie rolling, but she needed more lines to become a character, and instead it was just Natalie Portman saying, I love you, Thor, a lot of times. And they didn't even know each other. And I mean, I understand, like, Destiny, blah, 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 Disney princess, Disney prince, but it just kind of bothered me. Let me go in depth and analysize Thor for everyone in the middle of this video. I think his hammer represents a penis. What else can I... No, there was totally a movie that I saw and I liked, but I don't remember what it was, so I'll have to get back to you on that. As far as favorite, it's very hard for me to narrow down a favorite when it comes to movies because I've seen many. I have Netflix, and it's a problem. So, favorite book. We're coming down to that, and right now I'm very much enjoying any works done by Terry Pratchett. If you don't know who he is, Tumblrverse, Internet, and Zora's creation, he is a British satirist who I love sarcasm as a whole. Anything with satire, or just a sarcastic take on things, or like I'm saying this one thing, but I'm really talking about this other thing. I love. If only because I have a very hard time when writing to do it. I can speak and be sarcastic, and I'm very, 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 very good at it, I think. Just based on the people who raised me. My mom and dad are very sarcastic people. I grew up with it my whole life, and because of that, I think a lot of the things I say go misinterpreted, or went misinterpreted until about high school when everyone else got sarcasm. Or I'm just really bad at it up until high school, and then I got like amazing at it all at once. One of those two things could have happened, or a third thing could have happened, or many other different things that I haven't even considered that could have happened. But more to the point, I like Terry Pratchett. Right now I'm reading Snuff by him. I was very much a fan of going postal and making money. Going postal was about the decline of the post office, which happened in Europe before it happened in America, and it's still going on in both. And making money was about the economy, and that came out right around the time the economy crashed. And I was like, wow, go you! You are fantastic at writing satires about things as they're currently happening. Which it just blew my mind that he was that skilled. He actually has come down with early onset Alzheimer's, which has saddened me greatly. He came out with his last book, Snuff, but he has since, or during writing that book, he had to get his assistants to help him write that book, such that he would dictate and the assistant would type, because his Alzheimer's would make him incapable of typing it. And that makes me very sad. He actually did a startling documentary called Choosing to Die, which is about the idea that one could choose their own death because he does not want to be on this planet anymore after he can't write anymore. And that makes me very sad because he has literally brought me such joy when I talk when I talk about the books that I've read. I always bring up Terry Pratchett. He's just a great man, and he has shown me such things through this little fantasy world that he created just to be a set for satire, which I find fantastic. And I cannot go on about him enough, but unfortunately I have a time limit on YouTube videos, so I have to move on to another author I very much enjoy, who has actually worked with Terry Pratchett, named Neil Gaiman, and they came out with this book called Good Omens, which was the first book I read by him, and I found it to be an amazing work about religion and its complexities, and the notion of good and evil, and the notion of understanding a omnipresent being's plan, and I very much enjoyed that. And then because I should go into why. I'm sorry. Because they had like this angel character, but he wasn't exactly good. Like not in the sense that he was trying to be evil. It's just the things that he was trying to do as good would often lead to bad things. And subsequently, you had Crowley, who was the original serpent, if you will. His name was Crawley when he was a snake. He had it changed when he became a lawyer. I think he was a lawyer. And it would fit. Granted, the one lawyer that I do know of two is very nice. So he Crowley was like, he would do evil things, but he wouldn't do them in such a way that it forced people to be evil. And also, he would kind of be doing things that were technically considered good, maybe. Like, they both kind of operated in that gray area, and they worked together because they were kind of friends. It was very strange and interesting. And it was about the apocalypse and the lack thereof, or maybe the passing thereof. And I very much enjoyed that. And then I subsequently read his book American Gods, which was an amazing take on just about everything. That it was like, people brought their gods over with them, but America wasn't really a land that was fit for these gods, and the storyline ensues. I don't want to ruin that for you, but it's very good. I actually have not ruined any of the books that I'm talking about, and I very much encourage anyone that sees this, which is probably like 10 people, to go watch those. Next, what can I talk about? There's another book. Oh, I read a book called John Dies at the End. I cannot tell you whether or not John dies at the end because I'm not exactly sure. It is coming out with a sequel, I will tell you that, called, I think it's very long. Dude, seriously, no. This book is full of spiders. Dude, seriously, don't touch it. It's by David Wong. He is a editor at Cracked. I think he writes a bunch of articles there as well. Very interesting person, and I loved reading it because it was such an interesting take on psychological thrillers / horror that you don't see because people will not write like most Americans my age think, where you have things like The Room started to fill with shit, or the guy's walking up the stairs and the doorknob turns into a penis, and the guy turns to his friend and goes, "That door cannot be opened!" And there's just such a very strange and yet wonderful disgust that I get when I read this book. And it's just my immature sense of humor, absolutely. But if you have an immature sense of humor, go check it out. Oh, another TV show that I like, going back to that, because I have only mentioned one, really, Doctor Who, I enjoyed. I still enjoy, I should say. It's very, very good. I like Phineas and Ferb because it doesn't treat children like idiots. And it also has jokes for adults and whatever. I can't think of many things that I haven't covered, but I know there are absolutely things that I haven't covered, which is making me a little sad. But I think 19 minutes is enough. 19. So I will finish this video by saying thank you for the question. I apparently enjoyed talking about it because I used up 20 minutes of my time, which I was going to be very bored for the next 20 minutes probably. So that worked out. Good job, people. Specifically Zora's Creation, and anyone who watches this, because it makes it worthwhile for me to make this video, I guess. So yes, all of those are the answers to those questions, or those parts of that question, and I thank you for it, yet again, because apparently I don't know how to stop talking, but I think it goes a lot like this.